Tonight, a major test for the AFL already as Carlton goes from round one elation to COVID blues. Exclusive, a grieving mum's message on the escalating violence on suburban streets. A tragic twist after a horror home fire in Melbourne's west. Breaking news in Ukraine as a major airport is bombed by Russia. Facebook facing legal action over scam ads. And Jackson Warne joins the Saints in a tribute to his superstar dad. Details from inside Marvel Stadium.
Live from Melbourne, 7 News with Peter Mitchell starts now.
Good evening. The Carlton Football Club has been rocked by COVID chaos just hours after its first round win over Richmond. Coach Michael Voss and a player are among 4 people who've tested positive at the club. Tom Brown is following developments, and Tom, the concern is there could be a major outbreak.
Mitch, tonight Michael Voss, 2 assistants and midfielder, highly rated midfielder Jack Martin are all isolating and won't participate in the Blues game next Thursday night. Voss's team in the space of 24 hours have gone from elation on their victory to the COVID blues. It could spread. That's the concern further. There was no visible isolation or set distancing in the coach's box last night, on the ground afterwards, or in the rooms after that drought-breaking win against the Tigers. Voss incidentally mentioned at the start of his press conference he did have a scratchy throat.
All our players and staff tested negative yesterday, but we unfortunately had 3 staff members and 1 player test positive this morning. Obviously concern for Vossi initially with his health, but he's feeling fine.
Assistant coach Ash Hansen will take the reins next Thursday night. The AFL's message to me tonight: this is a timely reminder, COVID hasn't gone away. The AFL, the league, putting the onus on clubs to adopt COVID protocols over and above what's happening and required in society. Mitch.
Tom Brown at Marvel Stadium, thank you. A grieving mum has sent a heart-wrenching plea on suburban violence after the death of her 16-year-old son. The teenager was stabbed repeatedly in an attack that has even shocked hardened police.
A mother's heartache and anger.
I believe they violently, brutally took Declan's life from him for what? A girl.
16-year-old Declan Cutler was set upon by a gang as he walked home from a party in Reservoir on Sunday morning.
They stabbed him and beat him to death. That's not just, boys having a scruff. That's brutal murder. They each took their turn on him.
Victoria Police say the assault was one of the worst they've ever seen.
I'm also told by the investigators reviewing some footage they were able to obtain that it was a very, very vicious assault. In fact, they were quite shocked about the brutality of the assault.
Sam Cutler's son, the latest victim of a growing surge in knife crime.
Her whole face just lit up my day. Everything about him, his cheeky little ways.
Young people bringing knives into the city, it's just crazy. I do know this, we've got to do something to stop it.
It's been almost a week since the savage attack and still no arrests have been made. But with the help of CCTV and key witnesses, police say they're close to delivering justice to Declan's family.
Do the right thing. These boys are cowards and they deserved to be caught.
We've lost young people in the prime of their lives, 16-year-olds. I mean, that's just tragic.
Cassie Zervos, 7 News.
There's another sad development after a horror house fire with 6 children inside. Estelle Grieping has the latest details, and Estelle, a young mother, has lost her fight for life.
Mitch, it's the worst kind of news you can get from police after that awful house fire in Auburndale earlier this week. Mother of 6 Kylie Griffiths had been at the Alfred Hospital since Monday after her house caught fire. The 36-year-old, police have confirmed, passed away in hospital earlier this morning. We know that house caught on fire around 5:20 on Monday afternoon. Police allege that it was deliberately lit on fire by Kylie Griffiths' husband, Roland Griffiths. The couple's children mostly were able to escape unharmed, but one of their daughters, aged 17, was seriously injured in the blaze and has been taken to the Royal Children's Hospital. As for Mr Griffiths, he's also in hospital in a critical condition under police guard. And Mitch, detectives from the Arson and Explosives Squad say they're continuing to investigate what's now become a deadly fire.
Estelle Grieping at Police Headquarters. Thank you. Russia has launched a terrifying new attack in Ukraine, bombing a Lviv airport close to the Polish border. It comes with remarkable news of survivors emerging from the ruins of a bombed theatre.
A miracle in Mariupol. Officials confirm at least 130 people sheltering here when Russia attacked have made it out alive, hiding in a bomb shelter which appears to have held. No deaths reported yet, but hundreds were inside. President Zelensky says the number is unknown. My heart is broken. Civilian targets are growing. A school and community centre destroyed in the northeast. 21 people died. In Kharkiv, a massive market burns. Russia now hitting food supplies too, trying to starve out the city. 50,000 tonnes of food was stored here. It's been bombed twice. Horror in Kyiv as well. Missiles raining down while the city was under curfew. Those not in shelters, sitting ducks in their own apartments. Everything was destroyed, she tells me, and my neighbour died.
Your neighbour was killed.
It's too horrible, she says.
Oh my goodness.
She was celebrated local actress Oksana Shvets. From this resident, demands for revenge. I wish the Russians suffered too, she says, like we are. The 16-storey residential tower, one of multiple, hit overnight in the city.
It's believed the Russian missile which took out this building was actually itself taken down by Ukrainian anti-aircraft fire. What the actual intended target was, we don't know. But we do know that not only this tower was destroyed, but every other residential building around it. The college over here, and let me show you the kindergarten.
The brightly coloured concrete building and playground shredded, peppered with shattered glass. Within hours, though, school mums and dads were there to clean up.
These people live here.
Yes.
Here. Civil people.
Their president praising survivors and rescuers for their spirit. A resolve seen around the capital, determined to stand. Fortifications around the city now formidable.
Hello, Australian TV.
Hello. At every roadblock, passports and cars scrutinised.
Good. Thank you.
Hoping to hold back the invaders. It's 3 weeks since Putin's troops charged into Ukraine. He'd already seized Crimea and Donbass in 2014. Today, these are the areas under Russian military control. In each, it's believed Russian troops are advancing slowly around regions like the capital, Kyiv, the shelled city Kharkiv, and Mariupol, which is surrounded. And tonight, the western city of Lviv, hit for the first time. Russia released images, it says, shows reinforcements are rolling in. But the UK and the US say Russia's invasion has stalled, taking heavy losses and spewing heavy denials, brazenly claiming civilians are not being hit.
Mariupol has become almost a leader on the number and ingeniousness of the fakes.
President Putin, stop the killing.
On his virtual tour of Western democracies, today, Germany, urging it to stop Russia building a new Berlin Wall between freedom and oppression. Putin's army may be stalling, but it's Ukraine's people truly suffering. The World Health Organization counts 43 healthcare facilities hit. Mariupol officials say 80% of their city levelled. Is this what awaits the others?
And Chris Reason joins us now from Kyiv with developing news. And Chris, as you mentioned, the so far untouched city of Lviv is now under attack.
Yeah, good evening to you, Peter. Yeah, confirmation of 4 Russian cruise missiles hitting the Lviv airport just 6 kilometres from the city centre. As you say, that city so far untouched. This is as close as missile strikes have got there. It was an aircraft repair plant on the edge of the airport. The mayor of Lviv saying no casualties reported yet. Here in Kyiv, meanwhile, right in the centre, we've just witnessed some white trails of either a jet or a missile going down just a few kilometres from here. Now, as all of this goes on, we're getting confirmation of word that there will be a peace summit organised between the Russian President Vladimir Putin meeting face-to-face with Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky. The foreign ministers of both countries confirming they're trying to organise it. Turkey has stepped up to offer to host that event. We're also getting news of an international offer coming in from Italy. They want to completely rebuild, Pete, that devastated Mariupol theatre, an extraordinarily generous move from them. But of course, it still leaves so much of that city to rebuild. Peter?
Chris Reason in Ukraine, thank you. Joe Biden is warning China it will face consequences if it supports the Russian invasion. The US president will deliver the message to his Chinese counterpart directly tonight. He's condemned Vladimir Putin, labelling him a murderous dictator.
As Ukrainians face siege warfare hunted from the skies, Joe Biden declared the Russian president
a murderous dictator, a pure thug who is waging an immoral war against the people of Ukraine.
A day after calling Putin a war criminal, the White House doubled down.
Personally, I agree. Intentionally targeting civilians is a war crime.
The Kremlin called the language inexcusable.
What is inexcusable is what Russia is perpetrating against Ukraine.
Among the civilian casualties, American teacher Jimmy Hill, who stayed in Ukraine to care for his sick partner, shot dead waiting in a bread line. From the US, Arnold Schwarzenegger sent a message to millions of fans in Russia.
Your lives, your limbs, your futures are being sacrificed for a senseless war condemned by the entire world.
Then addressing Putin, who likely saw the video, the Russian president only follows 22 people on Twitter, one of them Arnie.
You started this war. You're leading this war. You can stop this war.
In the coming hours, Joe Biden will speak with China's President Xi Jinping. It will be their first call since the Russian invasion and comes on the heels of troubling US intelligence suggesting Beijing is considering a Putin request for military aid and money.
We'll make clear that China will bear responsibility for any actions it takes to support Russia's aggression, and we will not hesitate to impose costs.
In the United States, Ashley Mullaney, 7 News.
Hundreds of dollars will soon be in the pockets of struggling families in a major budget bonanza to help combat the soaring cost of living. One-off bonuses paid by the federal government are part of a pre-election sweetener.
Back in the budget spotlight, Josh Frydenberg says he's listening to Australian families.
The number one topic around the kitchen tables of Australia is cost of living, and so there will be some relief in this budget.
7 News understands that relief will come in the form of one-off bonuses for wage earners, which the Treasurer says will be
temporary, targeted and proportionate to the challenge we face.
That challenge, fuel and food prices skyrocketing while wages aren't, hence directing the relief at workers, with pensioners, carers and the unemployed already receiving indexation increases of between $13 and $30 a fortnight from Sunday.
Well, I think a lot of families are finding it tough right now.
How much will the bonus be? He's not saying. But with 10 million Australians earning up to $120,000 a year, every $100 will cost the budget $1 billion. And there is a crucial balance to strike. Pay too much and the government runs the risk of overheating the economy and inflation breaking out. Pay too little and voters might say, so what?
It could make it harder for the central bank to tame inflation, and then the risk is that the RBA then has to raise rates by more.
This budget won't be about setting Australia up for a better future. It'll be all about setting themselves up for a fourth term.
Economists are predicting a $30 billion budget boost from the resources boom, lower unemployment and strong spending. Josh Frydenberg says much of that will be banked to ensure the prediction of $1 trillion debt isn't met.
It will show a substantial improvement to the budget bottom line.
And deliver him a better economic picture. Mark Riley, 7 News.
Australia's consumer watchdog is taking on Facebook and its parent company in a world first. It's suing the social media giant over scam ads that have conned victims out of millions of dollars.
The ACCC says Facebook has a responsibility to protect users against scams, but says that hasn't been happening.
The essence of this case is that Facebook did not do what it should have done to protect its users.
They've launched legal action in the federal court against parent company Meta over a series of scam ads promoting cryptocurrency. The ads featuring prominent public figures like Dick Smith and Sunrise host David Koch.
These scammers steal my image, steal my name and make up fake quotes recommending dodgy investments to rip off our viewers.
And that's caused real reputational harm for the individuals involved. Indeed, they often get letters saying, "I followed your advice and I lost a lot of money."
The Australian consumer watchdog claims Facebook's algorithms help criminals target vulnerable users.
Facebook is far from a dumb billboard in the town square. Facebook has active control.
The ACCC's legal action will cost the watchdog about $1 million, but that's nothing compared to what Facebook users have lost to scams. One victim alone was conned out of $650,000. Facebook is now the most impersonated big-name brand by scammers, and cyber experts are warning children are increasingly being targeted.
The increase of online gaming and things like that, it's very easy for children without the right information and toolkits to be giving out too much information to hackers.
Christy Cooper, 7 News.
The AFL has backed embattled Bulldogs coach Luke Beveridge, ruling out any further action over his bitter post-match tirade. Today, Beveridge told 7 News he wears his heart on his sleeve, but let himself down when he lashed out.
Before dawn, Luke Beveridge was back at work this morning, this time with a cooler head.
I wear my heart on my sleeve, but there's no room for what I did.
Attempting to take the heat out of the headlines created when he launched a personal post-match attack on a TV journalist on Wednesday night.
You're an embarrassment to what you do, mate. I put, people in at the club more than anything, and the media at large in a position where they're preoccupied with things that they didn't need to be preoccupied with, and we spent a lot of time on things that shouldn't have mattered.
The club, not Beveridge personally, is making a $20,000 donation to charity, and with that the AFL says it considers the matter dealt with.
He clearly was in an emotive state. I think let's accept that. I think then the leaps to being unable to lead men, I think, is a big leap.
Despite the outburst and some damage control, the club has no doubts Beveridge is capable of leading the Dogs this season, now eager for the focus to turn to round 2.
We move on.
And late today, the reporter at the centre of the press conference row has been sacked by Fox Sports. Leaked audio of Tom Morris talking about a female colleague went viral on social media. Fox says Tom's words crossed the line and what he said was unacceptable. Tom Morris has issued a statement saying he's deeply ashamed of his behaviour and he will take the time to become a better person. Mitch?
Sarah Jones in the newsroom. Thank you. Tim Watson's inside Marvel Stadium for this evening's sport. And Tim, tonight it's the Saints versus the Pies.
It is, Mitch, but it is more than just a match itself for the Saints pre-game. Jackson Warne is set to pay tribute to his father, along with thousands of St Kilda fans. Mitch Cleary has details, and Mitch, it's sure to be emotional.
Tim, it is. It's impossible to ignore the connection between Shane Warne and St Kilda. And tonight, his 22-year-old son, Jackson, will step into the public spotlight and toss the coin in a tribute to his dad. Of course, Warne played in the red, white and black at under 17 level before going on to become a cricket legend. Tonight, Saints players will warm up in tops named and numbered Warne. All 23 St Kilda players will be wearing black armbands, and the numbers 23 and 708 will be painted on the turf. Plus, there'll also be a video and photo tribute at halftime, a chance for the Saints and their fans to remember one of their most famous supporters. Tim?
Thanks, Mitch. Also in sport, another headache for the Dogs with the skipper in doubt for next week. The Tigers count the cost of their loss to Carlton with some big stars injured, and a blow for the Demons too with Christian Salem undergoing surgery. Mitch, I'll see you again soon.
OK, thank you, Tim. Looking forward to it. Amazon has unveiled an Australian first right here in Melbourne. It'll generate hundreds of jobs and lead to faster deliveries for shoppers. Details are next on 7 News. Also, an inferno on the water as a boat goes up in flames. A health blow for singing superstar Kylie Minogue. And Bali versus New Zealand. The battle to get you to take a break. See what you can get for your money. That's coming up. Victoria's online shopping boom has led to Amazon setting up a new centre to speed up delivery times. The facility will be built in Craigieburn and will allow customers to get their parcels in just 1 day.
Amazon aims for delivery on a grand scale. It has big plans for this site. It'll be home to the online giant's first Australian sorting centre, a place to help clear the backlog at other centres. That will speed up delivery times from 2 days to 1. The goal is to go further. Overseas, shoppers are receiving their goods 1 hour after clicking add to cart.
Doing 1 hour, we do that not only in cities like Tokyo, but it's also standard delivery practice in London, New York, Los Angeles, etc. So it's something we aspire to.
In the UK, drones are used for speedy delivery.
From a technology point of view, it's really well developed. The issue here in Australia is really keeping to work with the federal authorities on the rules and regulations around aviation space.
Once it's completed, the facility here will cover 15,000 square metres. That's close to the playing surface of the MCG, and it will process 300,000 parcels a day. The company has grown quickly since arriving in Australia 4 years ago, matching Victoria's online shopping boom. It's Amazon's 5th site in Victoria.
It's also a demonstration of the growing nature of e-commerce in this state.
The project is due to be finished by the end of the year, creating 200 jobs. Emma O'Sullivan, 7 News.
A man and a woman have been pulled from the water after their boat caught fire in Brisbane's Moreton Bay. The couple leapt from the yacht as the flames took hold. They were rescued by a tender dispatched by a passing cargo ship. Princess Diana's private secretary has been given a secret payment from the BBC that's been described as substantial. One of the network's reporters forged documents in his name to secure a controversial interview in 1995.
It famously unearthed painful and intimate details in the vulnerable princess's life.
Well, there were 3 of us in this marriage, so it was a bit crowded.
And it's an interview the BBC is still apologising for nearly 30 years on. This time to Diana's former private secretary, Commander Patrick Jeffson, who the broadcaster admits was caused serious harm as a result of the circumstances in which the 1995 interview with Diana, Princess of Wales, was obtained.
I cannot think of another interview that sort of lives on in this way, not just because of the impact that it had at the time and how it hastened the divorce. None of this has been very good for the BBC at all.
Or it's now disgraced reporter Martin Bashir, who forged bank statements claiming Commander Jeffson was accepting payments from intelligence services monitoring the young mother. It was enough to convince Diana to open up.
The most daunting aspect was the media attention.
After more than 25 years, Diana's former secretary says it's a relief to finally reach a conclusion to this painful episode. Awarded an undisclosed BBC payout he'll now give to a charity in memory of his late boss. In London, David Woywood, 7 News.
Pop star Kylie Minogue is recovering from COVID. The singer contracted the virus in the UK, where she has had to cancel an appearance on a TV show. Kylie moved back to Melbourne over summer, but still spends a lot of time in London. Jane Bunn is also at Marvel Stadium tonight. And Jane, how does it look there this evening?
Well, Mitch, it has cooled down outside, but the roof here has trapped in a bit of our recent heat. Now, you'll certainly feel it if you are wearing your scarf. It only reached 22 in the city today. We had grey skies with drizzly showers. Now, those skies are clearing this evening, so it'll be a bit chilly when the crowds leave here later. We're heading for a low of 15. But then it is a great weekend. I'll have all the details on what could be our last summery weekend for a while after sport, Mitch.
Thank you very much, Jane. I'll be wearing my scarf too, don't worry. The home loan battle has fired up again, with banks offering cash to get you to switch your mortgage. Details are coming up on 7 News. Also, an emergency operation on the Surf Coast. And Priscilla Presley opens up on her mission to Victoria for a tribute to Elvis. A woman has been flown to hospital in a serious condition following a head-on crash between a car and a truck on the Bellarine Highway. The truck driver was also injured. He's now helping police piece together exactly what happened. Low-cost lenders are reigniting the home loan war, with an interest rate rise looming. Mortgage holders are being offered super low rates with up to $5,000 cashback to switch and save.
Cash in hand, waivers on mortgage insurance, even bonus Qantas points. Lenders are throwing perks around to win over homeowners looking to refinance. 27 lenders have cashback offers from $1,500 to $5,000. The biggest, 1-2 home loans backed by ANZ, $5,000 with a variable rate of just 1.89%. TikTok home loans also offering 1.89 but less cashback, around $2,000. ING, $3,000 at 1.99. The Big Four banks are also offering a cash incentive of up to $3,000, but with rates still above 2%.
Over the longer term, a low ongoing rate typically trumps a one-off perk.
But Rate City says after 2 years, almost half of these deals would still be cheaper than the lowest mortgage rate in the market.
Cashback deals are incredibly strong at the moment.
Home loan refinancing hit an all-time high last July, but has since dropped off. Experts say homeowners should consider locking in a fixed-rate deal before the Reserve Bank begins to hike official interest rates.
Likely within months.
We think a rate hike is coming in June, and we brought that forward recently from August because of the very high rate of inflation.
Before jumping into any refinance deal, check if the rate and the fees are competitive.
Do the maths to make sure that you're ahead, not just in the short term, but also in the longer term.
Gemma Acton, 7 News.
3 senior Labor senators accused of bullying the late Senator Kimberley Kitching have gone public to deny the accusations. Penny Wong, Christina Keneally and Katie Gallagher released a joint statement rejecting claims they froze out Ms Kitching.
They are, when it comes to improving the culture in politics, they are a big part of the solution, not part of a problem.
The trio will attend Ms Kitching's funeral on Monday. Bendigo has secured a major Elvis coup with the opening of an exhibition launched today by Priscilla Presley. Fans are all shook up now the Victorian city is home to the biggest collection of the King's memorabilia outside Graceland.
Now 76, Priscilla Presley says Elvis was always scared one day he'd be forgotten. So for her, this is exhilarating but heartbreaking.
I got a little teary-eyed, actually. Because this is everything he wanted.
300 items of personal Presley paraphernalia from Graceland for those to whom Elvis has never left the building. And on our minds here, his beloved MG, his favourite Harley Davidson, his trademark jumpsuits, his wedding tuxedo and her dress. She still loves him tender.
This is very sentimental to me, by the way. It's very difficult.
It took 2 years of negotiations to get this collection to Bendigo. Such a coup for a regional art gallery at the other end of the world to Graceland.
We did have to convince Graceland that Bendigo was definitely worthy.
The exhibition here for 4 months, then straight back to Memphis. So for Aussie Elvis fans, here's another
And do I get emotional? Yeah, I do. Because he was truly a very special human being. There is no one that can match Elvis Presley. I'm sorry.
Nick McCallum, 7 News.
Australian Open doubles hero Nick Kyrgios is back to his old antics in America. The Australian star received a code violation for abusing the umpire. After clashing with a spectator, he then took aim at Hollywood star Ben Stiller, sitting nearby.
I tell him how to act? No.
Angry to the end, Kyrgios lost his Indian Wells quarter-final to Rafael Nadal. Bali and New Zealand are going all out to lure Victorians for a holiday. See what's on offer next on 7 News. Also, the wanted sex offender hiding from police in the suburbs. Aldi forced to cancel one of its biggest sales days of the year. And an American in Paris comes to Melbourne. Locals in Melbourne's southeast are being warned to be on the lookout for a registered sex offender. Police can't locate Russell Jones and warn he should not be approached.
We understand that Russell Jones is likely to be frequenting the South Melbourne, St Kilda, Windsor, Melbourne CBD areas. He is a high-risk offender to us.
Police want anyone who sees the 40-year-old to contact them immediately. Aldi has been forced to cancel one of its biggest sales of the year due to supply chain issues. The annual Snow Gear Special Buys event is known for attracting big crowds and high demand. Aldi says it's focusing on ensuring essential grocery items are available on shelves. The Snow Gear sale is set to return next year. It's been a tough day on the share market for one entertainment company over accusations of fraud. Network Finance editor Gemma Acton has more.
Thanks, Peter. Aussie shares have finished the week off strongly, with the ASX 200 adding 44 points to close just shy of 7,300. Star Entertainment shares fell sharply for a second day. That's on allegations the casino group fraudulently disguised $900 million worth of gambling transactions as hotel expenses. The Aussie dollar leapt higher overnight and is now treading water close to 74 US cents, while oil has pushed back above $100 US. And while most areas saw a sustained run-up in house prices during the pandemic, it was the regions where prices rose significantly faster, seeing 36% growth compared to 21% in Australian capitals. Peter.
Gemma Acton reporting. Australians are being offered bargain holiday deals to get them travelling overseas again. Our top 2 destinations, Bali and New Zealand, are welcoming back visitors and fighting for our business.
Because it's quiet, I bring you up price Australian jet ski.
It's the battle for your holiday dollar. Bali versus New Zealand.
40% of our tourists come from Australia because it's quick, it's convenient.
Australian market is always at 3 top of the market for our resort.
There's never been a better time to get to Bali. It's going to be a lot quieter and you can lock in adventures for as little as $1.
There are plenty of bargains. In Bali, a family of 4 can stay for 8 nights in Kuta for $1,500, saving 61%. Just outside Christchurch, a family can stay at this garden suite with breakfast for just under $3,000. A romantic getaway for 5 nights in a pool villa in Seminyak is currently half price at around $1,400 per couple. A similar getaway in Queenstown will cost a couple $1,249 for a mountain view room, a saving of more than 40%. Before COVID, Bali was the second most popular overseas destination for Australians behind New Zealand. It's not just hotels offering great deals. Tourism operators are desperate to see tourists return.
We've got some really good deals going on around our 3 locations.
New Zealand's AJ Hackett Bungee is taking 25% off its experiences and launching a new campaign.
Oh, Aussie, the things we're going to do to you.
The best advice to save money is to plan ahead, book early and buy travel insurance. In Bali, Tegan Dolling, 7 News.
Melbourne's theatre scene is continuing to roar back to life with the Tony Award-winning Broadway musical An American in Paris premiering at the Arts Centre tonight.
I got
be part of a show that's about a place that's breathing again. So it feels wonderful to bring this story to this city.
The show is on until April the 24th. Sport is next with Tim Watson at Marvel Stadium. And Tim, it's a big night ahead for the Saints and the Pies.
Mitch, Collingwood fans will get a good look at Nick Dacos in the black and white tonight. We'll have the latest from both teams. Before the first bounce, a star Tiger headed to for surgery as Richmond's season gets off to a rocky start. More headaches in the Bulldogs with the skipper in doubt for next week. Buddy dares to dream about goal 1,000 in Swans opening round, and COVID hits the Socceroos just days out from a crucial World Cup qualifier. Welcome back. Collingwood fans are arriving in droves tonight to see Nick Dacos make his highly anticipated debut for the Magpies. Tom Brown's here with me at Marvel Stadium. And Tom, there is huge excitement around this youngster.
Tim, so much excitement. Will be basically capacity up to 50,000 fans here at Marvel tonight to see Nick Dacos realise his AFL dream. He's widely recognised as one of the best young talents in the competition. We'll see him playing off half-back tonight. Collingwood regard this game as particularly winnable, obviously because of their pre-season, but it's Craig McRae's first game as senior coach. He's excited, he'll be a little bit nervous, but also because St Kilda, who are well regarded, are missing up to 7 of their most notable players. I spoke to the Pies a short time ago.
He's going to play across half-back tonight. We think with the experienced guys around him, that'll help him settle into AFL footy.
You need to be a good team defence all over the ground, so we'll be relying on our forwards and mids to put a bit of pressure on as well.
And Tim, just finally on the AFL's directive regarding COVID protocols tonight, the onus is on the club. Some of them are already tightening up, for example, the separation at the club between the admin and the players. But the AFL's posing the question, should they wear masks? Should they separate at training? Should they separate in the rooms? It's up to the clubs. It could determine a lot of games this year and ultimately perhaps the premiership. The onus on the clubs regarding COVID. Tim?
Thanks, Tom. Richmond's Jack Riewoldt will undergo surgery tonight on a fractured thumb. The Tigers' midfield depth set to be tested after a costly opening round loss to Carlton.
It's not often the Tigers are happy to see the back of round one. Scans this morning confirmed Jack Riewoldt will need thumb surgery and up to 3 weeks on the sidelines on the back of this incident in the opening minutes of last night's season opener. He played out the entire game despite the break. Dion Prestia added another hamstring injury to his already lengthy soft tissue history. The midfielder yet to have scans, but is looking at least a month out.
We'll lick our wounds and come back Monday and review the game, and we have to get better, no doubt about that.
A knock to the knee forcing Toby Nankervis in for a scan today. The Tigers' midfield woes laid bare by a rampaging final term from the Blues.
It's a signature win for the club. Their last quarter was unbelievable around the stoppages, and Cripps, Hewitt, Chera really got on top. So, it's something we have to review.
After recovering from his second bout of cancer, Sam Docherty provided arguably the feel-good footy moment of the year.
What a wonderful moment. To have the boys, the way they reacted, it's going to be a memory that'll stick with me for a long time.
With Michael Voss now in isolation for 7 days after testing positive to COVID, he could still have a role next Thursday night against the Dogs from his lounge room. The AFL will help facilitate a remote link into the Blues coach's box. Andrew McCormack, 7 News.
And more problems for the Western Bulldogs too. They're sweating on captain Marcus Bontempelli's fitness after his opening round injury against the D's. It comes as Buddy Franklin prepares to potentially make history against the Giants tomorrow night.
5 goals away from 1,000. Lance Franklin isn't thinking celebrations just yet.
Hopefully we can get it done early in the season and then get on with it. But I think I'll be just... once it is done, obviously celebrating with the people that have been on the journey with me.
Looking to avoid an 0-2 start to the season, the Bulldogs now face the prospect of meeting Carlton without Marcus Bontempelli.
Just looking a little proppy. Bontempelli.
The sprained ankle ensuring the skipper no certainty to play next Thursday. Better news for Bailey Dale and Caleb Daniel avoiding injury. Tim O'Brien over a hamstring and in line for a club debut, but Jason Johannesson will miss a fortnight with the calf-strained pre-game. Confirmation, Melbourne halfback Christian Salem will go under the knife to repair cartilage damage and miss multiple weeks. The Demons opening talks on a new deal for Luke Jackson, with his Perth-based management jetting into Melbourne this week. Speedster Andy McGrath detailing the selfless role he'll unveil against Geelong tomorrow.
We've all been preached to adopt and embrace flexibility, and I guess I'm sort of seen as a back half midfielder now, and I'll play a little bit of time off half back, a little bit of time through the midfield.
McGrath and Zach Merritt rotating in defence, Darcy Parish and Dylan Shield in attack. The Bombers today announcing Natalie Wood to lead their inaugural AFLW side as it enters the competition next season. Mitch Cleary, 7 News.
The Melbourne Storm celebrated Craig Bellamy's 500th game with a heart-stopping golden point win against the Rabbitohs. Sal's mounted a comeback with a field goal. Then in extra time, it was Ryan Pappenhausen's turn.
Foot for Craig Bellamy. He's done it. Ryan Pappenhausen only needs one chance. With a step.
The Storm won 15-14. Australian coach Andrew McDonald has hinted Mitchell Starc is likely to play the third test in Pakistan, despite criticism over the bowling lineup in Karachi's lacklustre draw.
We'll look at the surface every time if he pulls up well, but he'll definitely get another crack in the last test. His reverse swing was pivotal in terms of opening that game up for us.
Meantime, Victoria is through to the Sheffield Shield final after a nail-biting win over Tasmania. And Socceroos coach Graham Arnold has tested positive for COVID just 6 days out from Australia's crucial World Cup qualifier against Japan. Arnold is isolating at home in Sydney. And Mitch, the Friday night countdown starts on 7, mate, straight after the news, and it's the Pies for me tonight.
Good on you. Thank you very much indeed. Tim, Jane Bunn is also with us. Won't be happy she's heard that. But Jane, you've got a pleasant weekend outlook for us.
I do indeed, Mitch. We're heading into what could be our last summery weekend of the season. I'll have all the details next.
When you need to know what's happening and why, 7 News will be there.
Grieving mum has sent a heart-wrenching plea.
7 News at 6.
Hello again. We're heading into a glorious weekend in Melbourne, and I'd make the most of it as it could be our last summery weekend for a while. The skies were grey for much of the day in the city. We had drizzly showers passing through. We briefly reached 22. It was 20 for much of the time. Humidity is dropping. The air will feel quite cool tonight. The clouds stretched across southern Victoria for much of the day before breaking up over the southwest and southern Gippsland this afternoon. All our heavy showers and thunderstorms have moved out of the state. They are in eastern New South Wales. Meanwhile, Victoria's north spent the day in sunshine with a cooler breeze than recent days. A cold front clipped Tasmania early this morning, bringing the cooler weather to Victoria. But as it only clipped us, only southern Victoria had any of the wet weather. A trough has moved to the east, taking the thunderstorms with it, and we'll have a high moving in over Tasmania on the weekend. So, with no trough, there's no storms. And with the high coming in, we'll quickly return to warmth and sunshine. In Melbourne is looking like a great weekend ahead. We've got warm and sunny days lasting into Monday too. And with what's coming in on Tuesday, I'd make the most of what could be our last summery weekend for a while. Around the nation, it's stormy around Sydney tonight. That leaves lots of showers streaming through there tomorrow morning. It'll ease during the afternoon. In Canberra, cloudy but dry. In Brisbane, nice, only a brief light shower. Sunshine returns to Hobart for a pleasant day under the high. Heading west, hot sunshine in Adelaide. It's cloudy in Perth. To Victoria, the south has only local patches of foggy low cloud and early showers in East Gippsland. Now that rapidly clears out to lots of sunshine. It's a lovely Saturday, just an afternoon storm only up on the eastern ranges. The north of the state, sunny all day. Across the board, temperatures jump up a lot warmer than today in easterly winds. Closer in, there is no more of today's gloomy grey. That disappears, and instead, it looks like this tomorrow. We'll have a cracker of a Saturday across Melbourne. Get out there and enjoy the warmth and sunshine. We're heading for a top of 29 in the city. To the 8-day outlook, it is remaining warm until Tuesday afternoon, when there is our first big change of the season. So on Sunday, lots of sunshine. It's a top of 27. Monday, we jump back up to 30 degrees. Tuesday, 28. That is ahead of a sharp cold change coming during the afternoon. Once that arrives, expect lots of showers to be passing through, tending to rain for a time lasting into Wednesday morning. Now with that, 5 to 30 millimetres of rain as it comes through. Then for the rest of the week, have a look at those temperatures, 20, sometimes just 19s with the odd night shower coming through. It won't add up to much after Wednesday morning. But it's a great weekend ahead. Get out there and enjoy all of that warm sunshine. We're 29 tomorrow and hopefully a margin here about that much, 29 in favour of the Saints tonight, Mitch. Yeah.
May the best team win. That's all we can ask. Thank you very much indeed, Jane. And that's the way it is this Friday, the 18th of March. Thanks for your company. For now, from the 7 News team, good night.